I just need to remember the couples. Turn that down. Who else do I need for this couple? We got J. Lucas and Shadow, Joshua and Olivia, Bonnie and Chris, Sorrow and Nick. Hi, Mom. Hello, Ollie. First Existence, and Chris and Moonlight. Alright, let me actually do that. Okay, and I do apologize if you guys hear the video that I'm watching right now. I'm just a bit of a getting into a Resident Evil geeky moment right now, so. But I hope that everybody is having an amazing day or night wherever you are in the world, whenever you're tuning in to this late live here. So, of course, we have the OG wheel that has obviously all the people that we all know and love. And I have the second wheel that has the couples. Hi, Dawn! Let's spin this wheel and see which couple that we get to draw. Let's go! I was expecting something else. Excitement, yes. Of course, the OG couple, yep. Excuse me. I also have some I still have some Mickey D's, so ow. Of course, I am going to be continuing with the artwork with Bonnie and William, but not right now. Okay, now I'm going to have to find actually a base for the couple. Because I want to find one that's actually them together. Yep. Search up couples and you'll find them. Honestly, I wish I had premiums so that way I could use like the ones that are right now embracing. But out of curiosity, which AU should I use? Because we obviously know there's the swap, the Mafia AU, the OG. Oh, you know what I forgot to add? I forgot to add Noah and Draco. Hang on, let me actually quickly add that back to the wheel. Yeah, it is two lovers. I know that. I just need to remember their bloody names. No. There we go. And a couple of AU. Which couple? Not which couple. No, which AU. Like, would you like the Mafia OG swap? Don't mind me, as I'm going to probably rage for a bit. OG. Moss is OG. Dawn says OG. I'm gonna wait for Ollie to respond. Yeah, can I turn on? Let me see if I can turn on the comments so that way I can see you. There we go. Because last time that I tried to do it, it didn't cooperate. So Ollie said OG. Okay. I'm gonna do this one. Of course, as I actually draw them, I'm gonna modify this into obviously Lucas's skin body shape. So, like, if you're thinking what I mean like almost like this. Leave me alone. I don't want cars. I got some OCs that I need to remake. Lol. Yeah, wait, did my phone go buzz buzz? Possible hour. Good! I really hate the stuffiness of how bloody smoky this entire place has been. If you're wondering why I'm complaining, because there have been fires. And I keep smelling the smoke and it's But out of curiosity, if anybody has either read or seen any Hunger Games movie, have you guys actually seen the recent trailer for the new Hunger Games? I am honestly invested with this. Because if I remember correctly, we're going to be looking at pretty much as if anybody don't know what I'm referencing, I am terribly sorry, but there's this guy named Haymitch, but this next Hunger Games film, I think, is covering pretty much as... I've only seen the first one. Well, you probably know Haymitch, but I think this next movie is probably focusing around Haymitch and his time during the Hunger Games. Because I read the book that pretty much explained what happened to him, and... oh boy! Honestly, if you actually read the books, they actually left lots of parts out, which I get pissed off about. Because they always leave good things out of the bloody book. Madame Ars is working on a wedding photo, which has been to do first. You like they did the project with Hail Mary. Help. Maybe do Raza? I normally suck at drawing people on the side, so this is gonna be obviously maybe the 80th attempt I attempt to do something like this, because many of them have been pretty bad.
The two do battle at the top of the cathedral spire, and eventually Ethan emerges victorious. Ethan discovers a strange flask.
Yeah, because I have a wedding scene with the AAA between Blade and Victor. Okay. No, I'm actually going to quickly. Do Blade. I'm just gonna look for a video. I'm just gonna quickly look for a different video to watch. The rise and fall of snow.
Since we talked about
I should probably create like another doc that just has Hi Siren. I should probably like have just like one document that just has your husband's in it.
Since we talked about the awkward years of Katniss Everdeen, I feel like it's my civil obligation to talk about the very uncomfortable and disturbing teenage.
Pray for my brain for those, and yes, please. Alright, probably in the morning tomorrow, if my alarm will actually get me up, because apparently my sleeping habit has been getting bad, so I need to probably would be getting to bed early on. Alrighty, that's Luke is done. I'm gonna get a reference photo. Hang on. Let me see if I can find that wedding picture. I'm giving the Cinderella screenshots because I sometimes watch back because it doesn't clip as much as from the video that I posted, which I'm still pissed off about. There it is. Our reference photo. Your wedding. Yoink. I should probably move them out of the way. This just a bit. Are you coming to the tree where dead men called out for his love to flee? Oop. No stranger would it be if we met at midnight in the hanging tree.
And District 4, the fishing district, has more aquatic names like coral or fin. And as for the capital, they have mostly Greek names. Crassus was most likely named after that one Roman general, Marcus Licinius Crassus. For those who didn't dedicate an entire month to studying
At midnight in the hanging tree, are you coming to the tree? Where dead men called out, for is left to flee. Strange things that happen here, no stranger would it be if we met at midnight in the hanging tree. I'm gonna go get our tree to finish. Okay.
Crassus enhanced his legitimacy in the family business by signing up for the military and joining the Peacekeepers. Apparently, he was described as a really good head of strategy. He had nerves of steel and a commanding presence, as he was quickly climbing the ranks. All starting with
Yeah, honestly, if I could be able to find like a really nice like remix of the cover of the Hunger of that song, I'm seriously gonna probably like make probably like a what should we call it? Showing a bit of the AU war, because the AU war kind of took place halfway when Lucas met during the last winter, remember? So pretty much before Diana's death, the war began. Which I know so many people are still mad at me for killing off Diana.
Also known as the world's largest therapy service. The therapy service does 100% online. The number one thing that I hear from everyone in their neighborhood.
But stupid enough, the original idea was to have both John and Diana get killed off. Diana obviously got killed by CI. No, the original was that they had pretty much like somebody who wanted the entire royal family dead and killed off Diana first. And then on the night of the funeral of Diana, the assassin would come to John's chambers and literally hang him. That was literally the original idea of how Shadow pretty much grew into a bit of a almost a overprotective partner, because he feared of losing them, of Lucas. And also my stupid arse, and also my stupid ass makes multiple AUs of this couple because they're so adorable together.
But the difference is that you're getting more flexibility and a more affordable price. And if all that sounds pretty good, you can get 10% off your first month by clicking on this link in the description below. Anyway, back to the very
Midnight in the hanging tree.
Coriolanus is Snow's mother. She also didn't do so well. The only pictures that I could find of her were of her next to the munitions tycoon husband in the stained glass portraits mounted above the doorways, depicting her and Crassus smiling with a holding baby dictator of Banat. Around the time of the death of Crassus, there was an air raid that immobilized the city, which was a really inconvenient thing for Snow's mother, mainly because she went into labor and she had to get to the hospital like quick. And if you're one of those people that's like, hey honey, get in here, Grace keeps referring to Snow's mother as Snow's mom and not by her full name. And honestly, it's freaking me out. Well, Matthew, that's gonna freak out some Matthew out there. But seriously, Emily, much like Katniss's mom, Snow's mother didn't have a first name. They didn't give her a full name in the books. Not having access to a hospital was especially bad for this woman lacking a first name because she had complications. We don't know exactly what the complications were.
I mean, seriously,
That they were hemorrhages.
Nothing wrong with that. Or sometimes I even take like a block of marble cheese and just shove them into my mouth and just nom on them.
Just a cook. I'm not a doctor. I mean, my parents wanted me to go to school, but I wanted to pursue my dream of becoming a Norwegian nightclub DJ. And when that failed, I became a cook, meaning I'm twice as unprepared for this situation as a normal cook. During this very dour moment, Tigress took Snow and brought him out of the room, as she didn't want Coriolanus to witness his mother's death.
Why don't you go to bed, Ollie?
His mother and what would have been his sister. And for those wondering what Snow's grandfather was up
mean, I would have done that. I'd be doing that sometimes. Even mom's on my side for you to go to bed, Holly. If you feel tired, then go to bed.
Why did Snow decide to turn against Lucy Gray? Like, seriously, what in the gem of Panem was that? One moment Snow's in love with the girl, and then the next moment he's all like, pew pew. Now I'm not familiar with the cool, young, hip, beatable vernacular of today's nihilistic youth. But
I want to, but my dog is on my... Oh, you don't want to move the baby.
Anyway, to answer my own question, after the war, when the remaining Snows were no longer occupied with not starving, not dying, and avoiding cannibals at all costs, they were still suffering. Remember earlier in this video when I mentioned that the Snows played a huge role in the capital's munitions industry? It used to be incredibly wealthy.
Maybe next time, if I add the couple back, I would have the word different AU. Mom literally said, "Don't fuck with me. I have the power of God and anime on my side." Oh. Yeah, I'm scared. Pokemon.
We'll get this. The bulk of Snow's family fortune was invested into munitions manufacturing in District 13, which at the time was the main military base for the capital. But since District 13 is starting the first rebellion and then just getting annihilated from starting the first rebellion, 13's entire industry was transferred over to District 2. So people like Strabo Flint could make bank loans building the capital's military.
To the tree.
All of
Where
Snow's
to?
fortune was taken from
It's raining, so I don't want to go to bed. Hey, boo.
during his later teen years, Coriolanus spent most of his time in his room, cuddling the ever-living
I need to keep.
the stuffed puppy, or
I
spending
swear I'm
time
gonna
at
keep
his
moving
desk
this picture
studying
until I like it.
over a neighbor. And by the time he was 18, the rest of his family were being
Bucket.
overflooded with overdue notices and threats of losing their penthouse. Naturally, this was making it harder for Coriolanus to maintain this facade that he was swimming in dough. He was pretty successful, as you saw at the beginning of Songbirds and Snakes. Why, he didn't really have everyone convinced to make shirt, too tight shoes, trying desperately to fit. But it's fine, because Grandmam and Tigers were giving Snow the support that
Question mark, question mark, question mark.
attending the academy. Grandmam would do stuff like teach Coriolanus how to sing properly, and at the end of every single line, she would still immediately poke Coriolanus in the ribs with a ruler, screaming, "Breathe!" Also, that Coriolanus could sing the Gem of Panem.
Yeah, same here.
During Arachne Crane's funeral, in order to enhance his political career. Everyone in the capital was incredibly judgmental of everyone else. A society where new is always
Me love Pokemon. Same here.
this person, being a talented seamstress, went on to renew Coriolanus' dad's clothing for Reaping Day. And even though she killed it, when arriving at the academy,
Alrighty.
still had to defend
So,
himself to the
Lucas.
whole renewing his
Of course, we're gonna keep, obviously, his iconic turtleneck.
needing to remind everyone that his father, the general, wore that message.
I don't understand either.
His outfit that used to be just decked out in metals. In times of hardship, Tigers often recited the Snows family motto, "Snow lands on top, snow lands on top." And Grandmam was constantly on another plane of existence, as she was caught up in the good old glory days of Panem. Like, she was very patriotic. She would sing Gem of Panem every single morning. And according to Coriolanus, she was absolute trash. Absolute shark. Even in the books, they claim that she's painfully on key, always missing high notes, and slightly behind tempo. But the constant grandma shade in Songbirds and Snakes is unparalleled. Tone deafness aside, Grandmam is the grandmother of Coriolanus and Tigris. They call her Grandmam because the Snows are inherently pretentious. They thought that the classics like Grandma and Nana, they were just insufficient, especially for someone so imperial. The imperial grandma.
Yeah, I'm with you, Ollie. I literally don't get it.
During Rebellion number 1. So Grandma the Imperial was left with the task of looking after the grandkids. Well, honestly, it actually ended up kind
again whenever I do.
That they would go on to hide in the walls of their penthouse. But as previously
Art.
established, the Snows used to have cooks and servants, which is why Grandma was as patriotic as her son.
I marked down where the pants will end.
Unfortunately, this caused her to lack many basic adult skills, like how to cook for herself and her family. Though Grandmam was burdened with the responsibility of looking after these
I am
lima beans, she didn't really know how to
generally confused
meaning at the
of
age of 8 years old, Tigress had to grow up real quick, as she had to learn how to operate this puppy so that she could take the really disgusting sounding lima beans, cabbage, or bread so that she could form it into a stew or soup or watery broth to keep the family alive during the war. And all of this peasant food was ironically eaten over fine china. And fast forward a little bit to the future. So Tigress wasn't going to university. So in a way, it was kind of up to Coriolanus to return glory to his family name. As time went on, Coriolanus would grow to have a lot in common with Cadmus Evers, as he was in survival mode his entire life. They both had to protect a mother figure and a sister figure while being burdened with poverty, starvation, and of course, the games. We'll talk more about that.
I'm guessing that's supposed to.
Speaking of people dressed like
Yeah, I'm looking at it right now.
Tigress and Coriolanus
I need to remove my glasses.
treated each other like brother and sister. She was about 3 years older than Corio, and she graduated from the same academy that he was going to.
That's supposed to be like an anime?
Talented seamstress. And around the time
Like Attack on. No, Attack on Titan. Demon Slayer? Because I am generally. Huh?
She was more interested in pursuing her dream of becoming a designer. Tigress's apprenticeship for whatnot did not pay her a living wage, which is why
I honestly do not know.
prize in going to university fell on Corio. It was utter trash because Whatnot made Tigress do things that were not part of her job description, like giving Whatnot a bunch of foot massages or cleaning clumps of disturbingly long magenta hair out of the drains.
Yeah, same. I am really confused.
Why is any of this important? Oh yeah, so during the 10th games, Tigress gave Coriolanus a small cake of soap that was shaped like a flower and smelled of lavender, as well as an old dress of hers that Coriolanus could give to Lucy Gray. She didn't want Lucy Gray to look like something.
This time with Lucas, I am actually going to ditch the gloves because I want to show his scarred arm. No.
As it becomes her job to make the tribute look like metaphorical and sometimes literal fire before sending them into a death pit in the most fashionable way possible. It's not specified which district Tigress was assigned to. Why? It was most likely into either districts 1 or 2. However, at some point in the future, Tigress eventually got banned from the games by Coriolanus himself. Snow would kill off anyone he deemed to be a threat, or even anyone he thought may be a threat in the future. But obviously, he still loved and cared for Tigress, so he probably thought to himself, okay, we're not going to do the usual plan. Even though they had a falling out, he still made sure Tigress was okay. It's hard to say if Snow ruined Tigress' entire life or reputation at all, but I don't think he did, as Tigress was still running a shop 5 blocks from the city circle, which is right next to Snow's mansion. So Snow was pretty keen on keeping her close. Tigress' removal from the games was most likely due to political, moral, and philosophical differences that she had with Coriolanus. The same differences that would have caused Tigress to become friends.
I have made so much posts, but not a single video. That's okay.
So that she caved District 13 during the Second Rebellion. Tigress was one of the stylists mentioned in the books to have surgically altered themselves to the point of grotesqueness. Katniss's opinion, not mine. Tigress became a literal tiger, and even went as far as incorporating feline traits into her verbal communication, going on to replicate growls of fierce jungle cats like that of Barbies. She would also eat well, except for
coming to the tree where 10 men called out, 4 is left to flee. Strange things that happen here, no stranger would it be if we met at midnight in the hanging tree. Yummy.
She also dressed them all up as capital citizens to avoid any detection by peacekeepers. Tigress was the first one to style Lucy Gray, and for that reason, I think it's fitting that she'd be the last one to style the remaining victors during the unofficial 7600 games. I always ask myself, why did Tigress make this radical transformation? Being the first unofficial and official stylist of the games made Tigress somewhat responsible for the shallow culture and over-the-top fashion trends in the capital. Therefore, it makes sense as to why Other victors like Haven turned to drinking as a form of coping as well. So I feel like Tigress made these alterations to herself as an alternative method of coping with the whole aiding in the games and helping the most corrupt person in the capital rise to power. At the end of the day, maybe she was just expressing herself and catering towards her own style. I try not to judge. It's funny how nowadays art is preaching about being yourself and expressing yourself are usually the ones with the most generic lyrics. I think it goes without saying at this point that everyone in the capital, from evil Santa Claus to the big dogs, they hate, they loathe the district board savages. Hating them more than I hate having to set my alarm for 7 a.m. When I just got into bed at 4:30 and I'm hit with the existential dread that I have to go into work the next day and create this perpetual never-ending cycle of
midnight in the haystreet.
at the time, Tigress showing the district dwellers sympathy was an anomaly. During the dark days, Snow was having a bad day. He got his cabbage stolen from him. The peacekeeper bruised his jaw when he mistakenly wandered too close to the president's mansion. And then, to top it off, he collapsed in the street, lying unconscious due to the swan flu. It's like the swine flu, but bird. When Goryo passed out, no one stopped to help him. But then, out of the darkness, Tigress, who was sick with the swan flu herself, left their apartment to find Goryo and carry him home. Also, in the books, it's implied that Tigress went through some
Here we go.
unspeakable things to provide for her family. There's a moment where Tigress kind of snapped at Coriolanus as he was judging people like Lucy Gray for choosing between death and disgrace. And Tigress over here had to choose the more disgraceful option in order to keep Corio alive. At the end of the day, all of this stuff strengthened their bond, but worsened Coriolanus' relationship with the rebels, aka all of the districts, and especially 12. The rebels were also the reason he has no money or parents. So there's that. Coriolanus always saw things in black and white. He didn't see the gray until he met Lucy Gray. Which brings me to the main point of the video. Or at least one of the main points of the video, which is answering the question, did Snow truly love Lucy Gray? When Lucy Gray claims,
The gods say you get money to get more people to watch, and you say you want to help them. Which is it?
I think that was the most important question in the movie. Well, besides the whole questioning the structure of our modern world and the political
English.
commentary, criticism of our Western society, and blah, 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 blah. Snow answers Lucy Gray's question, claiming it's both. He wants the money, but he also wants to, take her on a date. At the end of the Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes, the movie cuts
I'm
to
gonna
black,
actually give
and then the
Lucas
voice
a bit of
Snow
almost like a wedding, almost like a bracelet. So
That quote is open to all.
So this would technically be
The route that I'm going
the left
with
hand.
right now is that Lucy valued trust more than she valued love, in a sense, and Snow valued his reputation and life in the capital more than he valued love. I've heard I've heard a lot of people claim that Snow
You know what?
attacked Lucy Gray
We'll have a watch right here
nowhere. And let me tell
and
you
have
this,
almost like a
for those
wedding
who
band.
think that I disagree. Throughout the entire film,
Of
Snow
course,
sat
as we all
watching
know, wedding
himself
rings are mostly shown on the left-hand ring.
for 2 lives. In what should have been a 4-hour movie,
I don't
there
want
are
to
so
blur.
many moments hinting at Snow's final decision. It also helps to read the books, so we're going to reference the heck out of the books to validate my argument. So buckle up. It starts with this moment. During the first rebellion, the districts that produced the food, like districts 4, 9, 10, and 11, cut off the fat cat's food supply, meaning everyone in the capital began starving. It was not ideal. Some capital residents chose the not chill route of cannibalism, and there was a moment where Tigress and Coriolanus were trying to scavenge some wooden crates that they spotted in an alleyway, but then they accidentally stumbled onto a horror movie. That beginning clip that we see at the beginning of Songbirds and Snakes is of Coriolanus watching Nero Christ, a
specifically at the scars around his hands.
One big 4-hour movie. I will die on this note. Anyway, Neil claimed that they puppeteered made Snow look like the devil, and Neil made note of Donald Sutherland having these insanely blue eyes.
And it doesn't look
Bad guys
great.
usually have dark eyes, but Donald over here has the hugest blue eyes you've ever seen. So those piercing blue eyes and that
Kind of want it like a little bit
fantastic combination.
faded.
Young Snow had this golden blonde hair, aka the curls, just like his father. And honestly, he was a spitting image of his father. Grandmam would constantly tell him how much his pale blue eyes were just like Crassus. Coriolanus
Just a little
never
bit more
outwardly
darker.
said this, but he wished
Yeah,
that
it's
he
good.
had his mother's eyes, which were not pale blue. Though he often assumed that maybe it was best to take after his father, since his mother had not really been tough enough for this world. And I feel like that
They have like very sometimes some very big scars, and some of them are like very small.
anything else that's shown in the films or written in the book. Snow wanted to be like his mom, the caring, compassionate human being, but when asked to list something that he had in common with her, the only thing that Snow could think of was that he and his mom both had this love for music, which wasn't entirely true. In fact, Snow did not have her singing capabilities. This shows when he performs the Gem of Panem at Arachne Frank's funeral. His singing was more like a sustained talking rather than a melodic tour de force. Snow didn't know his mother too well. She died when he was really young. All that he had left of her was the stained glass depiction hanging above the doorway, this scarf, as well as a normal photograph of her holding baby Corio in her arms. There was also the compact. His mother would keep this thing in her handbag at all times, but now it rests in Corio's drawer next to his nightstand in close proximity with the puppy. Engraved on the silver case of this thing is the poem "Roses are red lights, violets are blue, birds in the heavens know I love you." Every time Coriolanus opened the compact, he could sense her presence by taking in the rose-scented powder that she wore on her foot.
Yeah, I just realized
Would envelop him each night.
I need to do a blur.
Warm, fuzzy security blanket. And when it came to other people, the compact reminded Dean Isaac Ibottom of Mrs. Snow's vapidness and how she was fated to be a child forever. They both had very different opinions when it came to Mrs. Snow. Coriolanus' father's death was associated with this fear and vulnerability that Coriolanus had never been able to shake off. And the more Coriolanus pushed,
For is love to flee. Strange things that happen here, no stranger would it be if we met at midnight in the hanging tree.
It was a good chunk of cheddar. Some scholars would say that it was a lot of money. If Snow won the Flint Prize, it would pay for university, as well as make it so that he could keep paying off that penthouse. So for 10 years, Coriolanus didn't miss a day of school. He got perfect grades. He came a home honor.
Oop.
And he exhaustingly maintained this facade that he was still wealthy, doing all of this for a decade, only to figure out
Calm down.
that the Flint Prize was
For
no longer being determined by who got the best grades.
no, I can't forget the necklace.
Look, I know you know all of this, but I'm just reiterating these facts so I can remind you of how much Snow had on the back burner. It put a lot of pressure on him and kept him in the survival mode that's been activated since the dark days. He had to turn his tribute into a spectacle, something he didn't really know how to do. I like that one moment during the reading where Snow jolts out of his seat after watching Lucy put the snake down Mayfair's shirt. In this moment, he subconsciously experiences the effects of watching a good performer, how she was able to captivate the audience, including Snow himself. But don't get me wrong, Snow still looked at Lucy Gray as unfed and unstable, but he
Okay. No, just got an ad for a bloody razor. I don't need a razor. I'm good.
Harry Potter, the full cast audio edition, exclusive on Audible.
Please.
Why do millions of Canadians trust their money? Coho, they trust the progress. Our best-in-class app gives you the tools to make your money grow and make life better every single day. You get a secure MasterCard, cashback, high interest, credit builder.
Like ad.
When Snow was asking if Lucy thought their connection was real, I think he was asking himself the same question. When Isaac Eyebottom and Snow were talking, like how people do sometimes, Snow was like, "Hey, buddy,
What is my favorite animal? I actually got two. One is pandas, and two is wolves.
and this is one of them." It's not that Coriolanus didn't care for Janus or Lucy Gray, but he was definitely drawn towards how he used them, even if he wasn't fully aware of it. I think it was more something on a subconscious level, like how he got inside information about the Flint Prize by being friends with Janus, or how he started making an impression on Dr. Gold the more that Lucy Gray taught him how to properly entertain. Snow was thinking that he was falling in love with Lucy Gray, but in reality, he was most likely falling in love with what he was getting out of the relationship. Crassus used Highbottom's ideas to forward his own position in the capital, and his son is doing the same exact thing, but with Lucy's ideas. Plus, I think it's a fair comparison to say that Snow is his dad because of everything that I just said, and Sejanus is Highbottom, as both Sejanus and Highbottom are under scrutiny for defending the districts and refusing to conform to the barbaric ideals of the capital. Sejanus was constantly freaking out about the games in Professor Demiglass's class, and Highbottom was failing out of Dr. Gold's class back in the day because he hated her teachings as well. Snow was being torn apart by the life he always wanted in the capital and sticking with the snakes, or living a more passive life than joining the songbirds in the trees like Lucy. It's fitting that Snow gave Lucy Gray
Good night, Ollie.
became someone he valued as much, if not more, than his own mother. Snow replacing the compact rose-scented powder with the rat poison was also a good indication of that. But it was all mostly emblematic that Lucy Gray is this embodiment of security and compassion, the thing that Snow is so desperately trying to cling on to. I remember when Strabo Flint was reflecting on his memory of Mrs. Snow, Strabo claimed that she was the very definition of a lady, and she was very gracious to Mr. Flint, even though everyone, and I mean everyone, hated him because he was from District 2.
Welcome back, Ma.
Kind of like when they mentioned JFK and Oppenheimer, teasing the expanded universe of U.S. political figures. But upon the second viewing, I liked it because this moment highlights Snow's still lingering hatred for the districts and his aversion for adapting to their lifestyle. In the books, they implied this by using the Mockingjays. Snow hated this creature. From the second he saw it, he's like, I don't like that. He especially didn't like the sound of the Mockingjays playing the melody of prisoners getting executed. After listening to Lucy Gray perform the song Deep in the Meadow, Snow noticed the lack of jabberjays and was starting to assume that the Mockingjays began reproducing without them. This propaganda filled
I had some water and some delicious iced tea.
getting out of the capital's control. So he suggested to his commander that they use the Mockingjays as a form of target practice. Anyway, fast forward to after the whole Kiki Mayfair, and Sejanus going like, so with Spruce, Sejanus, Mayfair, and Billy gone, Snow comes across the last of the evidence connecting him to this rebellion gone wrong. Snow thought he would be killed by taking the mayor's daughter out of the equation and conspiring with the rebels. When the rebels from the district surrounded the capital, Grandman told her grandchildren, remember children, we are but besieged. We have not surrendered. And then the capital ended up winning the war. So when Snow unpacked those weapons, I feel like he had a similar thought. Something within telling him that he didn't need to surrender yet, and that there was still hope. Plus, Ivanhoe once said that Snow's mother somehow convinced herself that Crassus would give her freedom and love, but in the end, she would be tossed out.
Don't mind me as I struggle getting the belt.
After
There you
Snow
go.
lost Lucy Gray's trust, he went out searching for her, but all of her tracks led to his mother's orange scarf. This scarf was accompanied by a snake to bite him. Then dozens of Mockingjays, Snow's least favorite creature, began to sing the Hanging Tree. This is the last song that Snow would ever hear Lucy Gray sing. It was about former District 12 coal miner named Arlo Chance, who was executed for crime. While his occupation was a
Ooh, yay.
Snow was still fighting the first rebellion. He thought it would hurt the capital by blowing up the mine.
Make sure to put in the announcement arena.
And he accidentally killed 3 innocent people. So Chance was executed at the Hanging Tree, as was tradition. Lucy leaves Snow with the song The Hanging Tree to let him know that she pieced together that Snow was responsible for the execution of the pacifist known as Sejanus Clay, creating a whole new meaning to the line, they say he murdered 3. In the Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes, it's written that Snow thought Lucy could fly around District 12 all she liked, but her and her Mockingjays could never harm him again. And even after all these years, Snow had this stain on his face for a new victor from District 12 rocking a Mockingjay pin. Plus, in the film version of Songbirds and Snakes, after Snow shoots Lucy, he picks up a golden earring of hers. It's gold, just like the Mockingjay pin. So this line.
When I was a kid, it was hard to keep me indoors. I would catch tadpoles. I'd only get to the stage where their hind legs would start to grow, and then my mom would catch them living in my bedroom, hiding. Be living in the water too, then being on the land was just miraculous. And I didn't get to hop out of the land. It's like I got thrown in a boiling pot of water.
And
CNNBT, before the 2 of us, is actually a bus. Live music all summer long at Boston Pizza.
Stubborn makeup left behind? Switch to Garnier Micellar Cleansing Water. Remove up to 99% of makeup in just 1 step, without harsh rubbing. More than 100 million bottles sold from the #1 micellar water worldwide by Garnier.
It's so much harder. And for that reason, it's puzzling to me how, if you look very closely at this picture in Snow's office, you can spot what looks like a Victorian sketch of nature. But it's not a drawing of the creature that lived in Victorian times, or any actual times. No, instead, it was the Jabberjay. Crassus believed that his own military experiences serving the peacekeepers enhanced his legitimacy in the family business, which was selling military weapons. Even though Coriolanus didn't go into the peacekeepers voluntarily, it most certainly boosted his reputation at the university and added legitimacy to his position in this new kind of stepdad's family business. In fact, when Snow was walking through the halls of university, other students would look at him with envy, all because he served as a peacekeeper. It gave him an edge. After this internal struggle of choosing the life of the songbird or the life of the snake, Coriolanus finally came to the conclusion that the entire world is an arena, and we need the Hunger Games to remind everyone who we truly are. People like Lucy Gray, however, chose to see the good in people. Wow.
Okay, okay.
With the roses. You remember the roses that Snow is rocking during the first half of the film?
Now let's make sure I get that super right.
Most capital driven.
Because otherwise my autistic artist is gonna be so mad.
Snow was holding a white rose representing his family, as this train station was the same place that he waited for his dad. And this is also where Lucy Gray opens up about her own family.
When I was little, my mom used to scrape me in bed and milk and this.
And during the games, Coriolanus has an orange rose to match Lucy Gray's dress, representing how keeping Lucy Gray alive was his main priority at that time. And we all know by now that Snow decided to rock the white roses in the end. According to set decorator Larry Diaz, the white rose is a symbol of purity, the exact opposite of who Snow is. An interesting observation I observed while observing the book was how Grandman became more out of it, for lack of a better term, specifically becoming more out of it when Snow left to become a peacekeeper. In the worst issues, in Tigris' letter, Grandman reportedly asked Blake in one day when Corio would be home, and if they should wait for him to return for dinner, kind of forgetting that peacekeepers kind of have a 20-year obligation to wherever they get stationed in the districts. Tigris and Coriolanus were like, who's gonna tell her? Because it's not gonna be me. But when Snow returns from District 12, Grandman, the person who is emblematic of all this blind patriotism towards the
I'm actually good.
is suddenly back. It's funny how Snowball and all these other
Maybe the tie will probably help.
that's why they're rolled with Hunger Games, to display the animalistic nature of humans and remind everyone who they truly are, hence keeping the tributes of the monkey cage at the zoo. Yet the people who they considered savages and the people who they put in an unprecedented, awful survival situation ended up showing more humanity than anyone in the capital. Lamina showed mercy to Marcus by climbing the rocks and putting him out of his misery, just so she could end his punishment of him being publicly displayed like that. Or Reaper, for example, as he respectfully laid out the tributes' bodies and covered them with the capital flag. And all of this is really helping support Lucy Gray's philosophy. I don't know, maybe Tigris' radical transformation of mimicking a tiger to the point of potential E. coli poisoning was symbolic of how the capital citizens were truly the animals. Plus, it sucks to learn that Lucy claimed that the rat poison was her idea and the comrade was her token. She took the fall for Snow. The only reason Coriolanus got caught cheating was due to the initials on his dad's handkerchief that he froze to the snake pit. This was an issue because Crassus' middle name was Xanthus. And apparently not a lot of people in this Greek society have a middle name that starts with X. I guess all that matters is that Snow avoided becoming dead in the woods in District 12, unlike his dad. By the way, the last time we see Gold, he's working on the squid monster line, as well as these very threatening goldfish mutts, but mainly the squid. Let's focus on the squid. You know that Miggs was the victor of the 11th Hunger Games, and why was that? Why did she win? I'm gonna assume that a lot of parts
Yeah.
of the arena for the 11th Games were submerged in water. That's like my theory. And those areas of water were most likely accompanied by this aquatic life. And this would
I don't
explain
think so.
being from District 4, also known as the District of Swimming and Fishing Skills, would be the winner that year, as she would have the skill set to take down this very threatening looking creature. After his return to the capital, Snow was taken in by the Flints. In the book, Snow had a much closer relationship with Mr. Flint than this nod that they gave him in the film. Coriolanus felt the same awkwardness and anxiety around Mr. Flint
I'm just
that
gonna do this.
he felt around his own father. So I guess he was given a similar father figure in the end. Snow would be an heir to the Flint fortune, but he was 18, so even though he's not technically adopted, he was debating whether or not to call them on Pa, but he settled for calling Strabo Flint Sir. And in a way, Snow was reclaiming his father's munitions empire. And even though he was consuming the Flint's empire, Snow knew that he would never trade his last name for anything. Also, Snow would eventually refer to Mrs. Flint as Ma, and that's just very disturbing. Strabo bought his son's apartment.
Again, like I did last time. Yeah, I just tasted everything I had to do.
The Flints also paid for Snow's tuition to help her with
We're just gonna do
Grandman,
this.
as well as a cook, a brand new cook. Strabo and Coriolanus were apparently a good fit together. Strabo was excited to give Snow advice, and Snow was excited to take. I don't mean to ruin Janice's life, but you could say that Snow was the son Strabo Flint always wanted. It gets more interesting because apparently Snow still viewed Strabo as district scout, but in the meantime, the love with money surprisingly helped Coriolanus focus on his new game maker internship, as well as the special honors class in military strategy.
Okay, now how am I gonna
They improved on the games, like having more stakes for
do Lucas's iconic front hair?
as well as Victor's village.
So we're gonna do flip.
As the name would suggest. Tigris happy by giving them amazing feasts, where if you eat too much, you can drink something to make you violently throw up in the bathroom. And then after that shameful 5 minutes of hell, you can eloquently return to the party in order to shove more food into your face. Speaking of that party, according to Catching Fire, the official illustrated movie companion, the presidential feast consisted of roughly 200 feet of buffet tables filled with food and food and a lot of food. Honestly, it was full of anything you could think of and things you could never dream of. This shameful act of gluttony was inspired by a runway show's feast production designer Phil Messina once witnessed.
Yay! I'm so happy to see you.
Because for practical reasons, it was meant
I'm happy. Very happy. Yay!
40 musicians, 12 boxes, the fire breathers, the presidential guards, partners in a pear tree.
Hang on, I'm going to.
Loved using a lot of extras. In the first movie, they had about 400 capital extras, and B. Neal was helping make sure every single one of them looked perfect. The entire team would end up taking 9
Hopefully this is the right
hours to get them all to
here. If it's not, I'm gonna cry.
insane. The presidential mansion party was filmed at the Swan House, an elegant classical mansion built in the heart of Atlanta, Georgia in 1928 by Edward and Emily Inman, the heirs to a cotton fortune. Set back from the street by a long driveway, and at the end of that long driveway, you can find a cascading fountain, a terraced lawn, and gorgeous formal gardens. The inside of the house is as elegant as the exterior. Set decorator Larry Diaz described the style of the place as very classic, sort of dictatorial. Snow is surrounded by antiques, crystal chandeliers, and other fine art. Basically, it's a beautiful place with a shameful history, but the structure of the house is really perfect for what they needed. Elizabeth Banks went on to say that we're imagining a future world, but we're basing it on places from the past. You can really imagine that this home would survive through hundreds of years of turmoil. Also, the place being named the Swan House was coincidentally a fitting name for a series that has a recurring theme of songbirds. The guests at the party that we're still talking about were very important people, from artists to bankers, and they were all wrapped in overindulgent, nonsensical trappings. That gives me a severe headache from looking at them. President Snow rocks a more military aesthetic while staying fashionable and not completely polarizing. Costume designer Juliana Makovsky went on to say that Donald Sutherland is a very elegant man, and of course we're going to go with his elegance. We wanted him to be imposing, but we didn't want him to look like the rest of the Capitol with outrageous fashions. We thought that he's above all that. He can do whatever he wants because he's a freaking lion, a majestic lion. And while we're on the topic of just reading out interviews right now, I really liked reading B. Neal explaining how they designed Snow's look. She claimed that I sat and worked for the entire day, and after we tried all of these things on it, I said, what if we make your eyebrows all white to match the hair? He looks like he's all warm and fuzzy, when in fact, he's the most evil of them all. I don't know whether or not you read the first Hunger Games book in the trilogy, but the character of Snow was barely in it. According to producer Robin Visser, the film's director Gary Ross was talking about the role of Snow to Donald Sutherland. Gary was all like, okay, Donald, regarding your role in the Hunger Games, you just need to show up to set for like a couple of days. You don't really have any screen time. All you have to do is show up as the president and make one speech. And Donald Sutherland said, no, Gary, no, I really want to do it. This will felt that Sutherland truly understood the character of Snow and how he was the embodiment of the Capitol. And Sutherland saw what he needed to do with the character. And when Ross and Sutherland were in communication,
Definitely need to take a shower tomorrow morning. Probably around the afternoon.
and I for one love that they added these two scenes because in retrospect it kind of shows us
I am doing well. I just technically had dinner. A very late one.
Snow and Katniss have a lot in common. They both hate each other more than anything on Panem. That's the first thing they have in common. And when looking at their individual histories, you can find a good amount of commonalities. Both had similar upbringings. Like Katniss had to hunt in the woods to provide for her family, even though poaching was illegal. Snow would have to go on to hide things like crates of dried lima beans throughout his entire apartment because hoarding was illegal. And whether it was lima beans or deer, they both had to ration their food and find a way to trade it during a little thing called surviving. Snow hated Katniss for a lot of reasons. The most significant reason, however, would be that she became the literal symbol for the Second Rebellion, which was a rebellion meant to tear down his entire empire and everything he's ever built. Like Katniss, Lucy was a tribute from 12, but Snow's war flashbacks to Lucy Gray Baird didn't stop there. The first thing that must have truly reminded Snow of Lucy Gray
Thank
was
you.
Deep in the Meadow to her. Back in the day, Lucy sang Deep in the Meadow to Snow, and while listening, Snow's anxiety started to melt away. It was a song that made him appreciate the beautiful nature surrounding him in District 12, and even made him consider giving up wealth and
I'm gonna play hair. I am seriously gonna have to take a nice shower. Make sure to scrub every last little inch.
The same way that they wanted Songbird from Lucy Gray to also die out. When it came to Gray, they took out her cubby's ability to travel, to sing certain songs, and to even keep their family together. And even when people like Dr. Gull erased the memory of Lucy Gray by destroying any copy of the 1000 Games, Lucy Gray's songs like Deep in the Meadow and The Hanging Tree live on. Because during the Second Rebellion, Katniss sings Deep in the Meadow to Rue, and we all know what happens in District 11. And in Mockingjay, Katniss sings The Hanging Tree, a song that prompts the rebels to blow up the dam towering the Capitol. Oh, by the way, before Lucy Gray's interview during the 10th Games, she claims that the show's not over until the Mockingjay sings. While we don't see Snow's reaction to Katniss singing The Hanging Tree, I'd like to imagine that you thought of Lucy George when watching this performance. If you ask me, Snow's fatal flaw is underestimating the resilience.
Of course, everybody who is in the chat right now, I am obviously going to be making a live on Tuesday. Ooh. Before everybody starts laughing at me the way I it's Tuesday. It's the way I like it. So stop it. Forest left to flee. Strange things that happen here. No stranger would it be if we met at midnight in the hanging tree.
So that Coin could have everyone on her side. And then it ended up being successful because the last of Snow's people turned on him. You remember that awkward moment. Well, Snow would play mind games with Katniss because the whole burning hatred for her. He would do stuff like leaving white roses in her Vickers village house or outside of District 13. He was a real jerk, you know, but you have to give him credit where credit's due. Snow never really lied to Katniss.
No, I do this. Oh.
Giving her every reason to believe that Snow was telling the truth when he said that Coin was the one who blew up Fred, causing Katniss to shoot the arrow, and Coin thus abolishing the Hunger Games for good. So I guess something good came out of this dictatorship.
I was gonna start whistling. Oh, that would be so bad. My ancestors would seriously smack me upside the head. I could feel them turning their heads at me in their graves.
Amy Abernathy, my second favorite character in the Hunger Games trilogy. It goes Buttercup, and then Haymitch, and then everyone else. Before Katniss ever even Peter Brett told the whole story, berries it. You know, and speaking of Katniss, Buttercup didn't like Katniss too much, and I don't really understand why. It's not like Katniss tried drowning Buttercup in a bucket the first time that Fred brought him home. Though that's exactly what happened. Besides having the remarkable ability of not drowning, this guy has the want another mouth to feed. But Prim was crying and she was like, please, Katniss, let me keep the cat. If you don't let me keep this cat, you're gonna be my 13th reason why. So very reluctantly, Katniss kept Buttercup alive. And Buttercup actually ended up being pretty useful. He would scoop up vermin, mice, and even sometimes rats. I think what somewhat repaired their severely dysfunctional relationship was Katniss feeding Buttercup the entrails of whatever she hunted in the woods that day. Okay, you know what? I'm gonna timestamp the video just in case I go on another incoherent rant. Before I ruin your day, I think it's a good time to talk about today's sponsor, BetterHelp. For those who aren't in the know, BetterHelp is the world's largest therapy service that is 100% online. Look, as of recently, I really gravitated towards mindfulness and self-care, given the dour subject matter that I talk about, and basically the fact that I'm a content creator. So I think therapy is pretty cool. And for anyone wanting to seek out a therapist, it can be pretty hard finding.
I am still gonna admit this. I made way too many AUs of this couple. I lost track. One AU that I kind of want to make is obviously the Avatar AU, where obviously Shadow is a Navi. And Lucas is obviously part of the Avatar program, where he gets to walk around as a Avatar. It is almost like following the story of Avatar, but a little bit different. Far is left to flee. Strange things that happen here, no stranger would be if we met at midnight in the hay tree.
Well, BetterHelp gets that. And if you're feeling like your therapist is pretty neat, but they're just not the right fit for you, you don't have to worry, because you can switch to a new therapist at no additional charge. And on top of that, and you're getting a more affordable price.
That's the first time somebody actually thought my OC was him from Murder Drones. I love it. Well, welcome to the live, my friend. Hope you enjoy it.
Producer Nina Jacobson talked about the casting for Haymitch's character, claiming we wanted a character who felt like he'd seen it all and experienced it all, and had that weariness, but also that subversive, fiery unpredictability. We wanted someone who could play the drums without being really obvious about it, who could play that sort of broken down clown, but really had the intelligence, the foresight, the strategy to get these two characters.
There was a wig in head, and it just made me think of that. Yeah, no, you're good, mate.
Well put together individually, and they never looked back. In the same book, it's also written that Woody Harrelson claimed it isn't always.
Who texted me on Discord? I just want my something that's going on with one of the servers I'm in.
The point that I'm trying to make right now, but I like that fact. So before Katniss and Peter Brad pulled the whole, we're gonna eat poisonous berries and die in front of all of Panem, as a big capital, forcing President Snow to let two victors win instead of the usual Uno. Haymitch was the only living victor of District 12. Well, besides Lucy Greybeard, but nobody really knows where she is. So let's start with Haymitch's origin. When he was 16 years old, Haymitch was called into a thing called the Hunger Games. To be specific, the fifth.
I love this family.
Even more specific, the second Quarter Quell. Quick refresher for those who back the class, the Quarter Quell is just another way for the Capitol to ruin everyone's day. Every 25 years, the Quarter Quell introduces a twist to the Hunger Games. When they're not being burned by Plutarch Levinsky, the Quarter Quells are written down on these cards and stored in secret boxes that are kept in this undisclosed location somewhere in the Capitol. And the laws for the games were laid out.
Yep.
Probably sometime during Snow's junior internship, they would call for a glorified version of the games to make fresh memory of those killed by District rebels. When analyzing this deleted
Are you coming to the tree where dead men call out for his love to flee? I just immediately started hitting my alto range. Well, that was a British slipping out here. I'm British. It's just two-part British. I am Canadian, but I sometimes actually put on a accent whenever I usually do live, so I kind of usually use a bit of a Scottish and British accent. Maybe because how many times I actually I used to do plays in high school, so plus a couple of my characters that I had to play had British accents, so I had to put on an accent, which was a couple of them. And if I remember, I was Veruca in Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. I had to put on a bit of a British accent. Scottish! I am Scottish! Should I probably keep this accent on, mates? Should I probably keep this accent on, or would you rather I pick my British accent daily and Irish? But would you guys like me to keep this accent on? I am Irish and Scottish. I love that every single time when I put on an accent, some people think I'm a different person, even though I'm literally from above the Americans. My mind blanked, literally. But but out of curiosity, y'all would like me to keep this accent on, or should I go back to my regular accent? I have Hungarian, Harry Cooking in Indian. I love that family is coming. I love that we are getting probably and maybe a new family member into this household. I am happy. Very happy. Oi, 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 father. My father is asking me to get his headphones from the SUV. So everybody, I do apologize. I will be back. So as you always enjoy the progress so far.
Remember when, like, 5 seconds ago, I mentioned that the 50th Hunger Games had twice as many tributes? Katniss became overwhelmed by the amount of names being called to their doom. She was really going through a roller coaster of emotions because when they called Haymitch, she found it hard to admit, but she thought he was quite the looker. The parade. Haymitch and the other tributes from 12 were dressed in these very stupid-looking coal miner outfits, and I'm assuming that the chariot was pretty packed. Oh my gosh, we're here. The interviews. Like Katniss, Haymitch is interviewed by the great, the excitable Caesar. Day isn't that different. He was slightly younger, and he was rocking dark green hair eyelids, but apparently he had different lips, so I'm assuming he got plastic surgery to make him look younger because it's a superficial capital. During their interview together, Flickerman questions Haymitch. So, Haymitch, what do you think of the games having 100% more competitors than usual? Then Haymitch shrugs and responds, I don't see that it makes much difference. They'll still be 100% as stupid as usual. So I figure my odds will be roughly the same. This actually caused the audience to laugh and, dare I say, find Haymitch likable. Everything seemed like it was going okay for Haymitch. Until the games. Day 1. The 47 tributes at Haymitch rise from the stockyard into the arena in order to be overwhelmed by the most breathtaking place imaginable. Imagine the Windows XP background, but like 4K. Katniss audibly gasped while watching the tape. So you can imagine how taken back the tributes were when seeing this arena in person. The middle of the arena, where everyone spawned from the tubes. That was a green meadow that was a few miles in diameter, and it was filled with meadows containing the most gorgeous flowers that the universe had to offer. Even the songbirds made an appearance. The sky kind of looked like how you used to view the sky as a kid, before you had to get a job and compete in a dying economy. At the center of this circle of plates is the golden cornucopia. When creating the cornucopia for the 75th games, production designer Phil Messina claimed that they wanted to make the island, aka the cornucopia, an immediate symbol of what the tributes would face, something threatening and challenging. The cornucopia in Catching Fire was inspired by these two abandoned Soviet monuments. In fact, the architecture for the Capitol during the time of the 10th Hunger Games looked straight out of the Soviet Union. With that knowledge, I believe
Alrighty, I am back. I've literally bolted to my father's car just to get his bloody headphones. Okay, I'm not gonna do the accent anymore. I love seeing both gacha games. No, mate. Hang on.
Fortunately, he runs into a more threatening pack, specifically a gang of threatening golden fluffy squirrels. And I know what you're thinking, but their fluffy exterior does not match their personalities. If you see this image in front of you, you turn and you run. The psychotic squirrels try to eat Hamish, and then the butterflies join in the attack, and they try stabbing Hamish with their stingers, which is concerning, because just like the tracker jackers from the 74th games, the butterflies sting to paralyze you, or even make you stop living. And now we're on to day 4. The 4th day, the snow-covered mountain, the one that I rightfully had my reservations about this entire video, that was no ordinary dormant mountain. No, sister. It was a volcano. A volcano that had a proclivity for erupting. And it did. It erupted. In one eruption, it took out 12 tributes. The career pack that was hanging out a little bit too close to this volcano, their numbers got reduced by half. So they went from the largest career pack in history to a normal career pack. Liquid hot magma started to spew into the meadow. So the 13 remaining tributes were like, will everything around us burn due to the high volume of lava dispersed throughout the land? But the woods that Hamish has been residing in this entire time seems like the one safe area where we won't be set aflame. So let's go there. At this point, Hamish was struggling.
Well, I am
But there was a maze of hedges.
bored, so I am actually just gonna put up one of my videos because I'm bored. So let's play the Vine videos.
I think I look. Excuse me, sir. How much is this 50-cent birdie bun? $1. $1? Yeah. You sure? Godmother whacking down.
You want me to subscribe to those people? That's okay. The highest people I had on any live was like 5.
You want a beer? He's 4. I don't know. What am I supposed to do with it? Welcome to the life of an adult child.
Okay, I'm tell my friends tomorrow. Tell your friends what?
It's time for coffee. Get fired. It's time for coffee. And by 5 o'clock, it should be time for coffee. Later, you get $100 million, but 100 million people will die. Kevin, how are you so funny? TRAUMA. I have trauma, and I'm good. Roger has realized.
You're a husband. One of my favorites. Because that's literally the guy who actually voiced Blitz. Nice. I am going to admit, I kind of want to do another Vine video, but I am mixed right now because of whatchamacallit.
Go back to sleep and start. I was thinking I'd do some magic. You? Magic, Charles. It's his talent. Show. Oh, that is gross. Stop king shaming me. King shaming is my king. You're very ladylike. Yeah.
A fuck.
You wash the dishes? I thought you wanted to do that. You were wrong. Oh my god, can you stop? Stop what? Breathing so loud just to annoy me. What? That's just how I breathe. Dad, what? Michael's breathing loud on purpose. Michael, stop breathing. What? Okay.
I'm just gonna do like the stud thing because I can't do the iron crosses. If you don't see a sign, you'll come to the right place.
Everyone always says be yourself. Well, don't do that. It's a beautiful day outside. Not as beautiful as me. Boy.
This is so many calories.
You are a stiff bitch. If you don't like me, you can just leave.
As soon as you mention that part comes up.
Bye, bitch.
Bye, bitch.
I always get the vibe that you like hate me or something. What? Me hate you? You're right. As I came into the window, what's the sound?
Shut the fuck up. Ah.
Wake up, idiot! Right, so now I'm gonna need you to take off your pants. Wait, but I'm here for an ankle injury. I know. My name is Michael with a B, and I've been afraid of insects my whole life. Stop. Where? Where's the B? There's a B.
Why am I doing this? So that way I can actually get a good sight on the eyes. Savage Lucas. And I want the front seat. Almost like this.
The fitness grand pacer test is a
Let me get rid of the lines. Stop touching me! Stop touching me!
Okay, bye.
Taco Bell, she owe me a kiss on the lip.
You're not going anywhere, Brad.
Did you get the cucumbers? Darn it, I forgot. I'm sorry. It's fine. I'll get it next time.
There won't be next time. Really? What's the number? Self-defense, people. I have spirits.
No off-topic questions. Because I don't want to. No, permission denied. That's an off-topic questions next. You have been stopped.
Have you ever had a dream that you had you would you could you do you would you want you could do so you could you want him to do you so much you could do anything?
Hey, Millie. That hurt. Isaac, you need to be more careful.
God let me live another day, and I am about to make it everyone's problem.
But you're dead.
Y'all let me do shit every morning, fam.
How could someone be so adorable and
Oh, I have a good time. Oh, yeah? Yeah.
Who's the lucky guy?
Alright, now what else shall I watch? Okay, should I watch either the last Winter Memory series, Three Couples series, or the Swap series? I'm just gonna squish, squish, squish. Let's do Swap. Hey, I haven't watched that in a while. Of course, there's all the way up to the part 6, which I will have to. I need to make part 7 later on. Yes. Naturally, everything is a lot more silent because I like it silent. And plus, for me, music kind of distracts it. No. Squish. Squish. I think that's the cats. Again? Ruby, hello there, my friend. Welcome to the live. Here we go. Can't forget the almost exhausted eye that Lucas almost has every single time we see him. We're just gonna do this. And now we just wait. Now we just let's make sure we add Shadow's like collar. Squish. Okay, not mad. I'm not mad. Of course, there's obviously the markings around Shadow's arm, but I never got to design his, like, markings on his arms, so let's design them, actually. Yes. Let's kind of almost, like, make it almost like maybe like a spiral. Like, we can have, like, one thick one that's, like, coming down, like that. Then it kind of, like, branches off into, like, different sections, like that. And, like, one big spiral. Sorry if I'm taking y'all on a circus ride. Okay, out of curiosity, do you guys like that marking? Yes or no? Just- Okay, good. I'm actually gonna make it almost like kind of like it's almost going down all the way to his hand. Okay, I'm gonna add like dots around it. Let me cook. Let me cook. Need a quick rack. Thankfully, it's not like my marking that I have to switch colors.
Shin hydro soap with a hint of hyaluronic acid, water activated sweat, and chamomile. It's an entire skincare ritual in one swipe. Shin hydro soap, deep dry your skin.
Skittles gummies are so soft.
I'm just gonna add dots on like pretty much the front or of his forearms. But out of curiosity, everybody, if I made like it pretty much a schedule for when I might be live this week, would you like me to post it in the Discord and post it on YouTube to notify everybody when I will be live? Because being a little bit of an autistic perfectionist, I like to like schedule things. And then immediately Ma says, heck yeah. Now, of course, this life can't go on for a very long time because, it's probably going to be midnight here in the next 30-ish minutes. I can't schedule anything to save my life. I was thinking, how am I going to do, like, scheduling things around you? I like that. I really like that. Yes, I know. And it's exciting. And I still have to plan what the heavens I'm going to do for your birthday. Mostly for the gifts. I just need to figure out what to do for your birthday, like the gift. I like that. Oh no! I forget that sometimes school starts in August, like mid-August. Alrighty, now let's do Shadow's hair. Naturally, he has long hair. Which I'll probably put into, like, obviously his ponytail, so... Maybe if I do... something like this, because... maybe those thinner ones. Okay, around 11, around 11:35, I will end the live. Yes, it will be a short live. I don't want to get yelled at my family for being up too late. Yeah, let me. Oop. Where is it? Oh. Do something like this. It's a shot girl. I should probably make this a little bit longer.
Kellogg's Frosted Flakes cereal. Grains, sugar, malt, salt, natural color, plus vitamins and minerals. That's it.
Are you? Okay, we only got a couple more minutes left until I have to quickly log out. So maybe if either Monday. Hang on. Oh, it's so pretty! I love it. Whoopsies. Honestly, I should have done a live a little bit more earlier than this. I just saw the wedding photo, ma. Oop. The fuck? What the fuck is going on? Is my eyesight going bad? I don't see it. Or is it just my eyes being stupid? Still confused. But it is going to be obviously midnight here, so I'm going to actually wrap this up, unfortunately. So I do hope that everybody in this live enjoys the picture so far. I'll probably like continue editing it off camera. I like some arts. But I do hope that you enjoyed it. Be sure to hit that like, comment, and subscribe. Hit that bell notification so that way you get notified for whenever there is a new upload. Thank you. So stand tall and stay strong. Be sure to stand tall and